Okay, so in the previous video, I mentioned what we're going to do, which was to get the username and the password from the user. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do that. So what we have here is we're going to create our string. So we are str username equals edt username dot, always remember the power of the dot, text. So text, we can use text to get whatever the user has entered. So we're just going to do text. Okay. Then we're going to repeat the same thing for the password. So str password. Remember, these are variables I'm creating to get it so that I will be able to write it inside of my, so that I'll be able to write my if statement with it. So edt password dot text. Then the next thing I'm going to do now is I am going to now check if the user has entered something inside the username and password. So I'm going to do if, right, if statements, and I'm going to do str username dot, right, equals, okay? Equals is a method that already exists in the string class. So we don't need to create our own thing, okay? So just click on equals, then we pass in, well, actually, we're not using equals here. We're using something called empty, okay? It's empty, okay? So what we want to do is want to check if the username is empty or the password is empty, display to the user something. What we don't want to use is we don't want to do and, because if we do and, it means that both of them have to be empty for it to work. But when we use or, it means that either of them, if it's empty, tell the user something. So in our case, we're going to do or. To do the or sign, you need to use 2 bars straight, okay? And we're going to do the same thing for the password dot is empty. And then we're going to do our else statement. So what we're saying here is if the username is empty or the password is empty, we need to tell something to the user. So we need to display a message onto the screen, okay? So I just remembered that we forgot to find our text view, which is meant to show our results. So what we need to do is I need to now get the reference of it. So txt, I believe we call it display, equals find view by ID, and it was a text view. So I'm going to put a text view here, and I'm going to do r.id.txt display. And then what I'm going to do is if, right, our username and password field is empty, I want to tell the user, listen, mate, empty fields, okay? So to do that, I'm going to put that message inside that txt display. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do txt display dot, right? And then I'm going to put text equals, and then I'm going to put a message in there, and I'm going to say username slash password empty, okay? So this will tell the user that one of it is empty, okay? Or you can just put empty fields if you want to. So if it's not empty, what do we want it to do? Well, we want it to check whether, you know, whatever they've entered fits in with our username and our password. Currently, we don't have a database, so we're going to use some fixed strings. So what I can do is I can just do this. I'm going to do another if statement, because if else, if it's not empty, else, I'm saying do whatever is in the else statement. If, right, we're doing str username dot equals, and then inside of here, I could have created 2 variables to contain, you know, the fixed username and the fixed password, but I'm also doing it this way in case you want to do it this way as well. So str username dot equals, ideally it's good to use the fixed username and create a variable, only because in case you want to use it again, you don't have to keep repeating yourself, but that's what we're going to use now. So str username dot equals, okay, we can do Kofi and str password dot equals, okay, and another again, Kofi. That. So we have an if and else statement, okay? So if the username and password equals Kofi, what do we want to do? We want to tell the user welcome. So str display dot text, and we can say welcome, okay? And then we can even concatenate the string, and we can add the name of str username to it. So this will display to the user, okay? This concatenation means we're just adding two strings together, but remember that one is a variable. So we're adding a variable together with a normal string that we have already. Else, we want to tell the user dot text, what are you doing, mate? Okay, so this is a simple application which you can use for all your applications, okay? For everything login that you're creating. This is a simple way of validating and checking things, okay? This is a several way. I remember I told you that I could also change Kofi here. I can create a variable and replace that with Kofi. And then, you know, the password also replace that with Kofi. But I just wanted to do it this way so that you'll be able to see exactly what we're doing, okay? Wrong details, okay? So this is our application. We haven't tested it yet. I would advise you that as you're watching this video, test your application each time, but maybe you don't know how to test it. I'm going to show you in the next video how to create an emulator and to test it. So I'll see you in the next video.